It's wrestling.
It's wrestling!
I'm 13, it looks like wrestling, right? Ooh.
Wrestling? Really?
You can't tell us you don't love wrestling.
Well, I don't really know wrestling.
Do you ever miss wrestling?
I miss wrestling. I love wrestling.
And love professional wrestling.
Fight, 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 fight.
Forever.
Forever and ever.
When CM Punk hobbled around the ring after returning from injury and took the piss out of his broken foot, people thought, hey, this guy might actually be cleared to compete. And then fast forward 1 week later, and he is fighting with Jon Moxley twice all over the arena. He looks fit, he looks ready, they're hyping up this title unification match. And then last night, he gets beaten in 2 minutes and 15 seconds because of the alleged injury. So, welcome to today's Fight Forever podcast. We're doing something a little bit fun today, and we are going to be watching the 2001 Royal Rumble with Carmo from the 5 Marks Pro Wrestling podcast, which is another Irish podcast that is very good. But when it comes to professional wrestling, things are absolutely insane right now. Jon Moxley won the AEW World Championship last night. CM Punk finally is not the AEW World Champion post-injury. It seems like this isn't a punishment for last week when he went off script like some people have predicted. They predicted that this was a repercussion for last week. This seems like they have written CM Punk off television for a long time. This looks like that they're after pulling the trigger on him losing the title because they realize that his injury is more severe than first thought, and that CM Punk needs to be off television indefinitely. When he initially broke his foot, it looked like he was going to be out for about 2.5 to 3 months, and CM Punk was hoping to be back by All Out. That is not happening now. CM Punk was not technically cleared to wrestle, but yesterday he did not take any bumps with his feet. They had brawls in the corner. He took some hammer and anvil elbows, and he took 2 Death Riders and got pinned in the ring. So it doesn't look like CM Punk is going to be on television for the next while, and it does look like they're after writing him off indefinitely with his foot. So CM Punk, he's out. He's not going to be at All Out. And they're playing into this injury angle. They clearly needed to take the title off of him because it was becoming ridiculous that their champion was going to be out for more than 3 months. And they decided to pull the trigger last night. And Adam Hangman Page was not mentioned on the show once. They did not give any indication that CM Punk had any beef with Hangman Page. They didn't even acknowledge it. So when it comes to All Out, I don't know if it's going to be Adam Hangman Page versus Jon Moxley. They haven't even talked about this. They haven't discussed this. And Adam Hangman Page is not on the pay-per-view. And going to All Out, which is next Sunday, it's a day after WWE Clash at the Castle, they do not have a World Championship match set, which is incredible to think about because it is next Sunday. It is next Sunday is All Out. They have one more show. They have one more Dynamite to set up an angle for a match at All Out. And nobody really knows what they're going to be doing at All Out because I would have guessed that CM Punk would have won last night. But I did put out there with my friends, and I think I said it on the podcast last week as well, or earlier this week, that CM Punk could potentially lose the title here as a repercussion for last week, or he could lose the title if he is not actually fit, and that's what happened. Like, I don't know if it's Adam Hangman Page, I don't know who it is, but All Out's World Championship match is not confirmed and is up in the air, and they only have a couple of days to fix it. And considering this is AEW's WrestleMania, they need to get something sorted for Jon Moxley.
Mr. Sacco! Rock tasted Mr. Sacco at rock bottom! Rock, look out! He can taste it again tonight, and he does! Mr. Sacco! Mankind is locked in the about changing the channel to our competition. Fans do not, because we understand that Mick Foley, who wrestled here one time as Cactus Jack, is going to win their world title. He's going to put some butts in the seat.
So today we're joined by Carmo from the 5 Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast, which is another Irish podcast for all levels of wrestling fan. We're going to watch the 2001 Royal Rumble together, which I think encapsulates the entire Attitude Era before the next era of WWE starts after WrestleMania. Carmo is probably, not even probably, he is the most intelligent wrestling fan that I know, who has a beam of knowledge when it comes to the WWF and WWE. And he's watched all the Attitude Era, and this time period is his favorite era. So we'll chat wrestling and watch together and take it easy. How are you doing, Carmo?
What's the crack, everybody? How's things?
Yeah, so we're just gonna watch the 2001 Royal Rumble. This is I don't know if you agree with me there or not, but like this is probably the best Royal Rumble. I feel like it's the most entertaining for everyone. And I feel like from start to finish that like it's like, you know, like in the most recent Royal Rumbles, especially like in recent years, you're just waiting for something better to happen all the time. And you're waiting for like that pop of, oh, here comes Randy Orton, and the previous 6 competitors have been Chad Gable, Omos, and whoever. Do you know what I mean? But like in this, every single person who comes to the ring is great.
That's it, 100%. In my opinion, this is actually the greatest Royal Rumble to ever take place. It's just as you said there, like you could have one entrant could be Taz, next could be Kane, next could be Jeff Hardy, do you know, that kind of way?
Yeah.
So just going from building names and names and names is just spectacular. Like if you look at the modern day Royal Rumble, you're probably looking at, I don't know, Chad Gable, and then maybe in Cedric Alexander, do you know, that kind of way. It's kind of like doesn't get you as
it's no slight on those guys, but like look at
not at all. I love Chad Gable, I love Cedric Alexander, but yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, we just want to be entertained, and especially in wrestling nowadays, like Chad Gable I think is great. I think Otis is great. I think they're genuinely hilarious, like and they're not in any way like boring. But like the thing about the Royal Rumbles nowadays is you will have probably a third of the Royal Rumble is just filler. Like there's no storylines being set up. There's no angles being shot in the Rumble. Like for example, like it's this Rumble. I'm not going to say spoilers because fuck me, it's literally 21 years ago. But this is the Rumble that Undertaker gets knocked out by what's his face, Maven.
It is not.
Is it not? Is that the 2000 Royal Rumble?
It's 2002 Royal Rumble.
2002 Royal Rumble. But like the point that I like, that was a huge moment, and like even by them doing that was just a big deal. You don't really get those nowadays. Not really.
No, you don't. Not at all. Like and one of the things that I hate about most Royal Rumbles, and the most recent Royal Rumble that just passed is probably a catalyst for it. Every entrant is announced. And like, there's no fun in that when you're after announcing 28 people for a Royal Rumble, and you're kind of like, okay, we've 2 people that we don't know are going to be in it.
Yeah.
Announce 10 people at most and let the other 20 sit. Like,
but didn't they do that like a few years later? Like they announced a couple so people knew who. Like for example, I think it was Evolution time that they announced a couple that were coming out at certain numbers, but they literally did like probably 8 people. And so you know number 17 is Randy Orton. Randy Orton's coming out at number 17. And like it's cool to know he's coming out at number 17, but it doesn't spoil the Rumble. As opposed to this year, it literally felt, this year in particular, I think was better than last year. I think last year's Rumble was the worst, like full stop. I don't think there was any Rumble worse than last year, but this year was genuinely terrible. We know that it was booked by Shane McMahon, and he wanted to make himself. He wanted to make himself seem like $1 million. But it leaves a lot to be desired. It really does in like nowadays, as opposed to this Rumble. We know that Kane goes on a rampage in this Rumble.
Big rampage, yeah.
And there's celebrities coming out for this, but it's not overdone. It's not overdone.
It's actually done very, very well.
This is my favorite celebrity spot in wrestling ever by some distance, bar none. I fucking love it. I fucking love it. Anyways, without further ado, we're just going to watch this Rumble. We're just going to take this easy. We're just going to watch this Rumble. And we're just going to talk wrestling throughout it. There's no particular format for this. I'm not pausing it. If anybody wants to watch along, I'm going to play the audio from the WWE Network. I don't think that's going to be a problem because I'm not showing video. And this is considered a Creative Commons license because it's under fair use because we're adding commentary to it. So, if you want to watch along, open the 2001 Royal Rumble on the WWE Network. You can also type it into Google and go to videos and change the duration to long if you do not have the WWE Network. Just saying. But if you do have the network, go to 1 hour, 44 minutes and 53 seconds. And that's where we're picking it up from here. And you can watch along with us and you can just mute your video and just listen to us. You ready, Dave?
Let's go.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the rules.
It is
for the
now
Royal
time.
Rumble match.
You heard it okay, Dave?
Those superstars who drew numbers 1 and 2 will enter the ring and the match will begin.
Good old
Then,
think.
every 2
Good old
minutes
think.
thereafter, another superstar enters the match according
Yeah,
to the number he drew.
Turned up
It
a
is
bit.
every man for himself, and elimination occurs when a
Got
superstar is
cans on.
thrown over the top rope with
An
both
upside down
feet
hell yeah
touching
sign.
the floor. The last superstar remaining in the ring after all 30 have entered will be declared the winner.
It's just crazy to see the crowd even here, like in the American signs and stuff like that. I know we're kind of coming back into it a bit more with like AEW and stuff, but yeah, I just think it was the best time in wrestling.
I agree with you.
Here comes number 1. The unfortunate
I agree with you.
I know half the people just draw signs all over the place.
I'm actually going to turn everything up a little bit besides you. Just 1 second. Or sorry, everything up.
First entrant.
There we go. People should be able to hear that better.
Mr. Nero.
Jeff Hardy being number 1 is probably a good choice in terms of just his style and the stamina that he has. And plus, at this stage, they're trying to make a star out of him.
100%, yeah. If you consider this is very early on, like he'd go on next year to have that feud with Taker as well.
Oh, he had the ladder match in 2002, didn't he?
Yeah, 2002, yeah. Big blue Bull Buchanan.
God.
No right to censor tag team, but a tag team they were.
Oh man, seeing Jeff Hardy being able to move just makes me sad.
Crazy, isn't it?
Look.
Took a nice little clothes in there.
God, what he's wearing is iconic as well.
Yeah.
I was watching the WWE rivalries with Vince and Stone Cold Steve Austin earlier. Like, you know, that like a little docu-series, and like every time they shot like a Steve Austin sign in the crowd, there was just a Benoit sign, and I just you just can't take it seriously, like.
Yeah, that's it. Like, but you actually forget how much, like, Benoit, but you actually forget how much of a big star he actually was coming through this kind of time period, like the early 2000s.
Huge star,
especially through ECW as well. Like,
he was a massive star. Sorry, I'm just turning. I'm rejigging audio as we're going. Sorry. Apologies.
You're good. You're good. I used to love the multicolored hair that Jeff used to have as well.
Man, it's an iconic look. Like, even recently I saw a video of like a kid jumping on a trampoline, and like they accidentally hit like their sibling or another kid or something. Yeah, and everyone's just like Jeff Hardy out of nowhere. But like the man is iconic. Like, he really is. Like,
oh, brilliant.
Like,
here comes the other half.
Like, when you think about like the most famous wrestling moments, or even famous wrestlers, full stop, like Jeff Hardy is in that conversation always.
100%, yeah, 100%. I think you can even put Matt in there as well when you're talking about tag teams. Though.
Oh, if you're talking about
just...
if you're talking about tag teams, 100%.
Yeah.
In terms of individual moments, though, like has anybody had as many high spots as Jeff Hardy? Probably not. Like
unlikely. Just to point out there as well, that was Teddy Long on the outside there, the referee attending to Bull Buchanan.
Oh, you're right. Teddy Long did used to be a referee.
He did.
God.
That's kind of funny as well.
So at this stage, you have the Spanish announce table as well.
He did.
Spanish
Hugo
announce
and
table.
Carlos. I'm trying to see here who's even on WWE commentaries. Jim Ross and Jerry, anyway.
Jim Ross and Jerry's on WWE commentary. You have the Spanish announcers. Howard Finkel as the announcer. Do you know what's insane about this time period as well? And I don't know why they don't do this nowadays. Look at all the cameramen. Like all of the photographers and stuff.
That's it. You don't see that at all nowadays. You rarely even see a cameraman. Like.
But I wonder why that is. Like even in terms of the actual forget like the people who are recording video, like the cameramen recording video. Look at all the actual photographers. On that side of the ring, there must be 4.
That's it. I'm surprised that they're gone, but I suppose camera quality has kind of gone up so much that I think you can just take still shots from camera now, that you don't actually need the photographers. But I would have still kept photography. I actually applied for a photography job in WWE before.
That's surprising to me. I feel like it's that kind of thing that like you will get like maybe 1 or 2 photographers nowadays, and like that's kind of it. Because even looking at this, on that one side of the ring, there's 4. There's 4. So there's no one behind there, but I think there's somebody on the left as well. Like there's just so many photographers at this point. I suppose at this point as well, like you wouldn't have computers, smartphones, socials and stuff.
That's it, I suppose. Yeah. So if you want to put pictures and stuff up on media, I suppose that was where we were going.
Yeah. Look at the cameras.
Big old twist of fate. Heading in for a swanton. Poor old Farouk is gone.
Poor old Farouk is gone. Ooh, every man for himself.
Oh.
The shirt comes off. Am I ahead of you, by the way?
All the women. No. All the women are popping. Cody Rhodes actually mentioned that recently. He was like, what's it called? I think it was like the female popper or something like that, I think it's called. And he said that's even gone out of pro wrestling. He was like, that's something that he'd definitely love to see come back. Like,
yeah,
it's a good point. It is.
I think it's a good point. Like, if you can have the men pop for one of the women, why not have the women pop for the men?
That's it. Like,
yes!
Here he is.
Here he is.
Time is now.
For everyone listening, it's Drew Carey. Drew Carey.
Oh man. Coming out in a little tracks as well. It's kind of like.
So small.
He's like a creative character in like a WWE game. What the way you put on the tracks, glasses on, you're like, go on, throw him out there.
He's like those photos that you get when you download one of the wrestlers from the fucking the marketplace now or whatever. Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh jeez.
Nice little box spot there by Matt and Jeff.
Very good, Jet.
Oh my god.
Holding on. It's so funny the way he comes in now as well in the second.
Hey man, look. He's already better in a Royal Rumble than Vince McMahon.
That's fair, yeah, that's true. Like,
and at least he got into a wrestling ring without tearing both of his quads. I know that happened multiple years later, but
in fairness, though, Vince did win a Royal Rumble.
He did.
Yeah, he's probably still doing a better match than Vince currently, though.
Yeah. Can we just say that he can't stop? He can't stop smiling. Sorry for interrupting you constantly.
Loving it. In fairness, if that was one of those, we would be saying.
Yeah. But even when he gets into the ring before anything happens, he's just smiling. Look at him. We're going to see it in a second, but he constantly smiles when Kane is in his face. And I can't handle it. I can't handle it.
The big boom. It's my favorite version again as well.
Oh, look how buff he is.
He's big, like.
He's big. And like this is when like their wellness policy and stuff. Sorry, just to fucking go off on one. But like this is when their wellness policy was like under scrutiny. So like this isn't Juice Ken. You know what
No,
I mean?
not at all. Not at all. But I even remember one time we used to watch a video. We watched a video of him one time. With my former housemate, but we were watching him talk about like workout routines and stuff like that, and he was like, yeah, look, I was never great at like benching or squatting or any of those kind of things. He only ever did like 500 pounds, and we were kind of like, what? Hey, you're not that good. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Fucking size of him.
Yeah, he's big bastard. Teddy Long coming up to Drew Carey. Drew Carey's still fucking smiling.
I wonder who booked this, by the way, because like this is genuinely one of the best moments of a Royal Rumble ever.
Yeah, it's true. Like, I'm trying to think who would have been there at the time. We've probably been looking at Vince, Pat Patterson, Jerry Briscoe, Jim Cornette actually would have been there at the time, and so would. We don't talk about the other fella this
Yeah.
week, so. Trying to give him money, like.
But look, he's smiling. He's smiling. Look at him.
Here comes Raven.
He gives away.
It's funny here. He just hops over the rope. Like, still smiling. That's it. He's gone.
He's just high-fiving everyone as he leaves. Oh my god.
No, he cuts him like halfway up the ramp and he's just
Yeah,
like,
he's just waving and oh my Jesus Christ. There's actual signs in the crowd for Drew Carey, by the way.
There
Like
is,
not
yeah,
planted.
there is.
Not planted.
oh god.
Raven needs a bath. That's a sign in the background. And you know what? Probably
Probably true.
a Gatorade right there.
Sidewalks on.
Look at all those drinks.
Oh yes. This is big ball pallet full. Bring out the fire extinguisher.
Is this post-invasion?
This is pre-invasion.
Pre-invasion, okay.
Yeah. The WWE and ECW had such a great relationship, you see, that WWE were sending talents to ECW as well as ECW sending talents to WWE. I think the first ever talent transfer from ECW to WWE was actually to Cole Scorpio.
Oh, interesting. And like at this stage, Raven is actually in the WWF. He's not in ECW at the same time, is he?
So ECW was actually out of commission.
At this point?
It was
Okay.
technically still a company, but they didn't file for bankruptcy until I think it was like 6 days after WCW.
Oh, okay.
They wanted to have a longer tenure than WCW, which I find hilarious.
That is hilarious. So WCW, so this is 2001, so this would have been March time 2001 when Vince would have announced that he acquired WCW, correct?
Yeah, so WrestleMania I believe was like March 29th or something like that, and I think it was like 2 weeks before that he announced he acquired WCW.
Okay,
So it would have been
gotcha.
probably mid-March, yeah.
So it's 2 months after this, essentially.
2 months after, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
I
all
think
know,
like
what's in the bag.
No,
Oh yeah, there we go.
big bowling ball. Is he going to get a strike?
There's just one sign in the background that just says Raven needs a bat. That's it, like.
Yeah, I know.
Poor bastard. Imagine being in the ring and there's a sign saying you need a bat. I'd be fair offended, like.
And just drop the crowd up, just stop the barricade and just take out your man, like.
Yeah. At this point so far, are they actually doing 2 minutes between the entrances?
I'm not sure if it's 90 seconds or 2 minutes. They started off at like, I think the first ever Royal Rumble it was like 2.5 minutes, and then they went down to 2
I
minutes. and
think
they're
it's
sitting
2
at
minutes
90
at this
seconds.
stage, but it seems like
Yeah.
they're they're actually honoring it. Like, do you know the way now, like, it's 90 seconds, but like sometimes
It's
it's
actually
2.5
seconds.
minutes, and sometimes it's 30
Yeah,
seconds.
yeah. This is actually the first time the Royal Rumble became a hardcore thing, so it was a no disqualification basically. So you could bring in whatever weapons and stuff like that you wanted.
Was it not no disqualification before this? Is this the first one?
It's the first one involving weapons anyway, so it was something to do with a hardcore disqualification. I can't remember because I don't know how you can get disqualified in the Royal Rumble. So that kind of
True. It's not like a triple threat match or a Fatal 4-Way where you definitely could, like, but they just don't want you to.
Yeah, that's it. Like. Good old Perry Saturn. One eye looking at you and one eye looking for you.
God, he actually looks like credible here.
Yeah, it wasn't.
The mop is after
before
this,
this
right?
or after this, he nearly killed it. He nearly killed it then. I think it was before this.
What happened that he got the mop gimmick?
Oh, so it was after this actually. You're right.
Yeah.
So he got punished. He was it D'Lo Brown or someone like that. He basically like.
He hurt someone, right?
Something happened. Yeah, something happened. The person put him in a bad move or something. Perry Saturn just powerbombed him and ended up kicking the head off
Oh,
him,
you're
but
right.
they
It
kind of
was D'Lo
fell-
Brown. You're correct.
Yeah, but they kind of fell backwards out of the ring, and I think D'Lo got really badly hurt. And then after that, it was kind of saying that's a no-no. So he got put with Moppy.
Iconic.
Here's one for you, actually. One of the lads on our podcast actually said, could you imagine Ted, but with Perry Saturn and Moppy?
Yeah.
I'd watch it, like.
just Perry Saturn being like, the chick with a dick. It's the chick with a dick.
Oh, God.
Oh my god. So in the ring is Raven, Al Snow, Perry Saturn, and Kane currently. Who's joining?
6, 7?
Oh, it's Ken Shamrock.
It's not. It's Steve
Steve Blackman, sorry. They're very alike.
They are very like.
Apologies.
Lethal Weapon, though. I used to love Steve Blackman. He just kind of faded away then.
Man, he was so, no offense, so irrelevant. I just thought he was Ken Shamrock. Now, in fairness, they're super fucking similar, even looking wise.
Yeah.
One of them has facial hair, one doesn't. One of them wears
That
pants,
they
one doesn't.
They actually had a great rivalry, I think, in around the 2000s. Or in around 2000s, I think it was.
Just a make our
Or
rivalry.
99 even.
Our free meeting ends in 10 minutes, Dave. We're going to have to take a break.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I see that there.
it's fine. I'll just...
That'll be over in 10 minutes, it'll be fine.
It's definitely not over in 10 minutes. I believe there's 50 left, Dave.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll do that in 10 minutes.
It's fine. I'll make a new meeting and we'll go back to it. It's fine.
I was like, who's that in the far background?
Sorry, the guy who had Raven needs a bath has another sign that says, "There's a rumble in my pants."
This guy's no signs. He just knows it.
He's definitely one of the guys who brings like the signs to like the newer like WWE and AEW events. Like, I don't know if you saw it recently. It was Matt Hardy versus Christian on Dynamite, and someone in the front row had a sign that said, "I played this match on WWF WWF No Mercy."
I saw it. That was brilliant. Like, absolutely fantastic. Some of the game and the signs that appear now in like AEW are brilliant. Like.
Oh yeah, they are good, to be fair, and they all like call back to each other as well. Like you'll see like people talk to each other through signs. Like,
it's brilliant. Like. Good old Grandmaster Sexy.
oh, Grandmaster Sexy.
His
R.I.P.
son, Jerry Lawler.
Yeah, R.I.P.
R.I.P. as well. Yeah.
Here's something interesting, actually. How many people since this has passed away? I would say a lot, actually. I'd say like it's more than you think.
So
That's one in the ring now. That's all we've had so far.
Bullet Buchanan, I think, is still alive. Hardy's is still alive. They're still alive. I think it's only Grandmaster, yeah?
Grandmaster so far. But like, are we going into the stage where like there's tests and stuff? There's tests in this Rumble.
I think Test is in this Rumble, yeah.
Like there
thing
will
as
be a
well, yeah.
few for sure.
Test had a bit of a
Benoit's
dark
probably in
side
this
as well.
Rumble. Is Guerrero in this Rumble?
We're trying to think. Is Guerrero? I don't think Benoit is in it. Guerrero might be.
Did they come in
I
with the
actually went through the
invasion?
match area. Oh, Benoit isn't. Benoit actually had a match earlier on tonight. I fought Jericho in a ladder match for the IC title.
Look. Iconic. Unreal. Kane is starting to dominate. Sorry, we're just kind of rambling. We're not even talking about the match anymore.
That means there's something coming up. I don't know if you know what's coming up, but he starts to eliminate everyone and then it's bang, here we go.
It's cool how fast things like pick up in these Rumbles. This like nowadays they feel like there's no oh my god. Honky tonk man.
It's a honky tonk man.
Nowadays
Cool.
with like if people are like, let's just say Brock Lesnar comes into a Rumble and he's clearing the ring. Like when he's clearing the ring, it doesn't feel like he's not throwing people over in any aggressive way. He's not throwing people over in any dominant way. It's just a regular throw over the top rope. As opposed to Kane, who is hitting people with like the lids of trash cans and shit.
Yeah, 100% agree. No one's saying that. Like one of my most recent favorite Royal Rumbles is probably 2019. Just watch Brock clearing out fucking half the ring before they even come into the ring.
Yeah, no, it is
quite
sick.
funny,
It
like.
is sick. I'm just saying, like, in general, when people do go on that tear, it's not as dominant as Kane. Like,
It's normally kind of like a clothesline over the top rope or something rather
Yeah.
than picking them up and
Even a
actually
kick.
throwing them out or hitting them with something. Yeah, even a kick is kind of long gone. Unless someone uses like a super kick as their specialty,
yeah.
then you never see it.
Well, as we know, you don't really have the big men like Kane and the Undertakers really do those big boots anymore. Not really.
No, not at all.
Like, what? There's no agile 7-footers in WWE. Like, there's no agile even 6'5"ers in WWE.
Who's the guy? We've got Omos. He can't do nothing.
No, Usus.
Commander is these. He's useless.
Usus, yeah.
Oh, who's that new fella in AEW? Satnam Singh?
Oh, so I'm saying Usus. Actually, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna say this. He's actually like better than I thought he was. He was actually able to move. He actually looked like a giant. But at the same time, like you just know if he is a match by himself where it's not a 2-second angle, that he's gonna be useless. Like, as mean as that sounds.
100%. 100%.
Greg
So I don't
Khali
even
is
know
the
what happened
worst.
in AEW.
What?
But they dropped the match at All Out, didn't they?
It's weird. They announced last night that it's going to be, what was it? The No, it was going to be on the Motor City Machine
FTR.
Guns.
Yeah.
Motor City Machine Guns and Jay Lethal
Jay Lethal.
versus FTR and Wardlow. That's what they announced.
Yeah. I'm surprised it's not Jeff Jarrett and Ric Flair.
Man, firstly, that sounds like the worst tag team ever. Secondly,
Yeah.
it was really weird that they did that last night because Satnam Singh has been such a prominent figure and he has not had a match yet. So they just don't want to. They don't think he's ready, but yet they think he's ready enough to put him on TV. Really weird.
100%. Yeah.
It's really weird. So there's no big men that are like ready.
No. Not one. Here comes Big Rocky Johnson.
Big Rocky Johnson.
Ahmed Johnson. Not Ahmed Johnson. What am I saying? Rocky Maivia. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well,
Rocky Johnson was his father.
I mean, he is Rocky Johnson as well. Like,
He is Rocky Johnson.
he is
yeah,
Rocky
to be fair,
Johnson
yeah.
too.
Yeah. No. He's Dwayne Johnson.
Dwayne. And CM Punk was like, your pal Dwayne.
Yeah.
Dwayne.
Okay, giving it to him now. We've got what? 3.5 minutes left?
Yeah, I'll pause this in a second, then we'll take a break, folks.
Cool.
Apparently, or at least to this point, King, it has been King. How many men did Kane single-handedly?
You know what? Since it's slowing down, we'll actually do it now in a second after whatever spot happens here.
I believe it's like a double clothesline or something.
There we go. We're gonna pause it now. So this is
Ideal.
right. This is right before the next entrant comes out. We have paused it at 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 8 seconds, and we're gonna have a little intermission, and I'll play a little audio bit as well.
I am a generational talent, and you people consistently take me for granted. But it's not just you. It's the big man in the back, too.
The big man.
Big one in the back.
Here's something you guys can't take for granted. Here's something he doesn't want you to know.
Doesn't want his shareholders to know?
Do you guys know who the second biggest minute-for-minute draw is in this entire company? Nope, you wish. It's me! It's me! And if you don't believe me, do me a favor. Ask Stat Boy Tony in the back, see what he's got to say. But whatever you do, don't ask him to reach into his pockets and pay the man who's been busting his ass for him since day one. No, 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 no. Make sure he hoards all that money. Make sure he hoards all that money so he can give it to all the new ex-WWE guys he keeps bringing in. That can't lace my goddamn boots.
When you're gonna pay? When you suck the money out of my eggs. Now get the fuck out.
Hey, boss! Would you treat me better if I was an ex-WWE guy? See, maybe you don't get it, man. Here's the problem with you, boss. You got a position of power in a wrestling company when the only position you should be assuming is behind the guardrail with all of them. I don't want to wait till 2024, but you don't listen to me, so allow me to make it a little bit easier for you. Tony, I want you to fire me. Tony, don't count me down, you piece of shit! Shut your mouth! Look at me, Tony. Look at me. I want you to fire me. You fucking mark! Fire me! Fire me!
Rightio, so we're back to the 2001 Royal Rumble. I have a McFlurry, and Carmo's going to cover for me while we continue. We're currently at 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 8 seconds. The Rock is screaming on the mat, and we're going to click play in 3, 2, 1, go.
Who's the next entrant?
I fucking hate this theme.
The right to censor. It's not the Godfather, it's the Good Father. I can't believe they actually turned his name into Good Father.
I know. Undertaker's homie.
Yeah, yeah. Charles Wright, I believe, is his actual name.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe I don't know what his name is.
To be honest, I don't know most of their actual names, but he's one. I think it's just because I'm watching a few documentaries with Taker and him in it.
Yeah.
Recently, that's how I know. But he's gone now, you know? Back on to Kane and Rock. Cheeky little suplex.
The stamina of Kane here.
He's
Crazy.
brilliant, like. It was actually funny back when COVID happened and you know, people had to wear masks and people were giving out and all that shit.
Yeah.
One of the memes that came out was like, what was it? If Kane can wear a mask for an hour and 2 minutes in a Royal Rumble, you can wear your mask for 15 minutes and
Backed. Back. Look at him, like.
that's it, like.
And this is
Big
the mask
beast like
that
that.
like goes over his mouth, right? Yeah, look.
Yeah, I think he has 2 little pins just above his nose and that's it.
God, the best
Hey.
Kane.
Back when you used to use the voice box as well.
The best theme. The best wrestling Kane. The best physique Kane. Oh, God.
100%. 100%.
He was established. Like, this isn't 1997 Kane. Oh, it's Taz.
Boom, boom.
What a small man.
He is actually. WWE made him like such a little wimp. I go back and watch him in ECW, and this man
He
was
kills
a
people.
Star.
I look like.
Absolute star.
Is this in Madison Square Garden?
Is it in Madison Square Garden? That's a good question. I don't know.
Let me Google where this is, because if he's in New York, that's fair bad.
That's pretty bad, yeah. I have a funny feeling it's not, but it could be. WrestleMania was in Houston, but that doesn't make
New
sense.
Orleans, Louisiana. So no, it's not.
Hmm.
My crap is bigger than Taz. That's the sign from the same guy. This guy has come with 30 odd signs, I'd say. Look at him.
Man's coming with fire. I'll tell you what, that crap lasted longer than Taz.
Wait, did you see that? They had a timer come on the screen and then it just went away.
So they do that every now and again on the background of the kind of where Titantron and stuff is.
Yeah.
They put up a timer where it's like 40 seconds left, you know, that kind of way,
Yeah.
and then they'll disappear in 2 seconds. Very strange when you showed up on the screen. Though.
Yeah, it's weird.
You're meant to open, the man in the background there on the white shirt, hoping Jeff Hardy's coming up next. Little does he realise
I
he's
saw
already out.
that. I saw that. What? What?
Oh, they do this, yeah, there's a little break where they go back for a replay, but everything like cuts out.
Wait, what?
I don't know if this was live on the night, but it's on the network.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's really crazy, isn't it?
So is that supposed to be like a post edit?
No, so it would have been Kevin Dunn and all these antics in a fucking production truck. Fucking up a spot.
What the hell? I've never seen that before.
Who's next?
And here comes the second acolyte, the second APA, Big old Bradshaw. He's coming in at an
Big Bradshaw.
What an iconic theme, by the way.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Here's a tricky question, especially for people listening and stuff like that. What does APA stand for?
Everybody thinks it's the American Protection Agency.
It is not.
It is hold on. They just JR just said the word that I forget immediately of what it stands for. Okay, I know the word, but I don't know what APA like fully stands for. It's something acolytes or something like that.
So it's the Acolytes Protection Agency.
Acolytes Protection Agency.
Yeah, so when they started off as a tag team, they were known as the Acolytes.
The Acolytes,
and then
yeah.
they became
Okay.
the Protection Agency, so it's the Acolytes Protection Agency. It's a question not
Everyone thinks it's American. I said so. For anybody who doesn't know, me and Carmo worked together for a very long time. Like, Jesus, it would have been from coming up to 2 years nearly.
Yeah,
coming up to 2 years, yeah. And he has posed this question to me before, and man, I could not get American Protection Agency out of my fucking head. I was just convinced it had to be American Protection Agency, but no, Acolytes.
Acolytes. It was actually funny, when we were working together. We used to do this a lot. I'd either pose a question to you or you pose a question to me.
Yeah.
I remember you asked me one day, it was like, what match only took place at like Unforgiven or something like that. And I was there for ages, and I was, what match is it?
I said that there's one match. Well, sorry, it's technically two matches. Like, there's a match that only took place at one event ever. They've never done it again. They've never done it since, and they've only referenced it like that night / the Raw and SmackDown after. They never referenced that after again, and you were like, "What the fuck is this?" And the answer was the Championship Scramble. That was the answer, which was at Unforgiven 2008, I think.
I think it was. I'll be honest, people, I cheated on that as well. I looked it up.
You did look it up. But like, it's a match everyone forgets about. Like, that happened. Like Brian Kendrick. Brian Kendrick was technically WWE champion. Now it doesn't count until the final bell goes, but he was. But he did win the title during that match.
Yeah, crazy, man.
Mental
Big
stuff.
Matt Bloom trying to get out Bradshaw.
A-Train. He was now a trainer, right?
Was he A-Train back then, or was he Albert?
He's A-Train. I don't know.
A-Train was. He fought Taker in.
You know what? No, you're right. He's Albert here, because A-Train's when he doesn't have the top and stuff, right?
You're right.
You know what? Lord Tensai.
Yeah, Jesus.
Lord
Remember when he
Tensei.
put a team? Remember when he started teaming with Brodus Clay and they started doing all the dancing and stuff?
Man, I'll be honest, I fucking don't. I don't want to either.
Don't even go back and watch it.
Do not want to.
Big clothesline.
So he's Albert here. Look at his pants. You're correct.
Yeah.
He's a trainer still, right? He's a trainer
in
NXT?
NXT,
Yeah.
Production Center, yeah. Or the Performance Center.
Performance
Jesus.
Center.
Production Center. They're just building robots on there.
I don't like this man. Can I just state?
Alcoholic?
Yeah. And I can give my reasons for it. I think this guy is a dickhead who frames everyone else to be a dickhead and claims to not be a dickhead. Now, in some interviews, he's like, yeah, I'm an asshole, but like, he phrases it like everyone else is the problem, and I think that he's actually the problem here, to be honest.
I agree. I've seen so many matches where like he blames people for either hurting him or hurting themselves, and I'm like, to be honest, it's majority your fault. But...
Well, he has dropped people on their head. Now it's happened to him too. Let's not forget this. It's happened to him as well. He broke his neck. But like he has dropped people too, so he's not excluded from this. But I don't like him. I think that he's a shit stirrer, and I feel like if you're going to be in a wrestling ring and you're going to be trusted and taking care of people, which I have no doubt that he always wants to take care of people, but like he was notorious for giving receipts and stiff shots when people did things wrong, and I just think that's just the wrong way to be a professional wrestler, personally.
100%. 100% agree. Makes no sense. Although I will say his brother was actually better, Crash Holly. I know they're not actually brothers.
Well, Crash Holly's a fucking lunatic. That's why he's great.
He is. Brilliant though. Do you remember when they did the hardcore title 24/7 thing?
Yes.
Oh.
I wish they brought it back as just a hardcore title, man.
Yeah, they shouldn't have brought it back as the 24/7.
Who cares? Like?
Yeah, I'd also hope if someone has either just like a compilation or something, whether it's on YouTube or somewhere else, of just all the hardcore 24/7 title things.
Oh,
send it on to me.
It's
Send
definitely on YouTube.
Please do it. I've looked and I can't find it.
Oh, it definitely exists.
Not a full one. Not a full one. If it's 3 hours long, give it to me. I'll watch it. I'll even do a podcast on it. Okay, quick.
Man, this is his. Did you hear there? His first ever Royal Rumble. This is 2001. Like, just to put this into perspective for any listeners. So, K-Quick is in the ring. K-Quick is now known as R-Truth. And his real name is Ron Killings. He was Ron Killings in TNA as well. This man has been around for an extremely long time. Everyone has known this. This man is still relevant, has improved, is just as quick and agile, and is great on the mic, and his comedic timing is amazing. And this man is still relevant going into his 50s, and he looks as good as he does now. Like, it's actually kind of insane to think that he's in this Rumble.
Yeah, if you're talking about early longevity over a career, like, he's definitely up there.
So what? This is 21 years ago, and this man is still... Now, he doesn't perform as much recently. Like, I haven't seen him on TV at all since I started rewatching, but... This man
it's been a while, alright. Like, he does a bit of stuff on the outside as well with kind of fans and stuff like that. But he was actually teamed with Road Dogg back here.
Was he? Didn't know that.
Yeah, he's up from Road Dogg.
That's so random. He just got killed by Bradshaw.
He did. Laid out like.
Fucking Albert taking out The Rock. Imagine.
Jesus. That'd be a big pop. Well, it wouldn't actually be a big boot. Not heat. Who's next? I love the countdown on the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. I hate these right to censor. I hate it so much.
Who's this one? Bell.
Jerry Lawler just said what I was thinking. He said, I think there's way too many right to censor members. He's correct.
And it's actually funny too, because we've had 3 already in this match. Stevie Richards was a part of right to censor as well.
So obviously, like, they're eliminating them because they don't want them to have, like, they don't want them to be in the ring. They're all, like, at the same time. They're obviously just filler here, which I said earlier they didn't do much of here. But you don't seem to have 3 or 4 fillers in a row like you would now. Do you know what I mean?
No, not at all.
Like, you seem to get, like, maybe 1 or 2 fillers, and then you have a couple of good ones. Like, even in the ring now, fucking... Like, what? You have Albert in the ring who came out, like, ages ago. Man is still in the ring, like.
Yeah.
Bradshaw.
And then you consider Taz. Taz is in the ring for about 3 seconds, like.
The ECW guy's got a bad rap.
That's true. It's true, you know, so there's no more of them. Oh, Raven was there.
Raven was here for a while. But then he also got embarrassed, so, I mean...
He got booted. Actually, funny story, he was in the ring where I was going. I should have mentioned it. But Al Snow, so when Kane started off in wrestling, he actually teamed with Al Snow in Memphis, I think.
Really?
And they became tag team champions. Yeah, they were the first. It was the first title Kane ever won in professional wrestling.
That is actually such a good trivia fact.
Yeah.
So what, would he be big Glenn Jacobs? Like, was he his real name?
No, he was either Unibomb or I think it was Unibomb. Yeah.
Unibomb, okay.
Who's next?
Yes. What a legend. I was listening to his podcast recently, so William Regal just came out. 2 years before this, William Regal was in Japan and basically got spiked on his head. And for the following 5 or 6 years, he was wrestling, which it wasn't broken, but was essentially close to a broken neck. He just didn't know. He just worked through it. How is that even possible? And this man is this good, like.
That doesn't show how much of a ton bastard he is, like.
Can we also highlight, by the way, that the trunks that he wore for like a 1 or 2 year time frame ended up being the trunks that Daniel Bryan was given by him in Ring of Honor, which, judging by what he's wearing now, could potentially be the ones that Bryan Danielson wore in Ring of Honor. Potentially, I'm totally guessing. Yeah,
it is very Daniel Bryan though. They were very kind of similar wrestlers. Yeah. If you've got a prime William Regal and prime, what do you want to go to Daniel Bryan and Bryan Danielson, will be a great match. One of the best technical matches you've really ever seen.
I was watching Zack Sabre Jr. recently enough in New Japan, and man, he's so similar to William Regal in terms of like just how he carries himself, but he's obviously like a submission wrestler. Like, it was really weird seeing it. Like, I wish that we got that match between Bryan Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. because I feel like it would have felt like a William Regal match.
Yeah, I think we will get it, but it's just a matter of when.
Sorry, the sign in the background is England is that way.
Oh, Jesus.
The signs are amazing.
If anybody knows who this guy is, please send it on to us. We might get him on for an interview.
I genuinely might make a video compilation of all the signs that he's held up because they're amazing.
They're brilliant, like. I'm waiting to see the next one. There goes William. Big testicles is in now.
Yeah, so this is the second person who's passed away.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah.
God, he had it all, man. Yes.
He did, but what a fucking dickhead he turned out to be, like.
Yeah, he did. He did.
I won't go into that now, but...
Oh no, he was a dick. He was a dick. I feel like anybody who knew him would be like, look, he was just troubled, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, you're correct. He was a dick.
Chess and Albert for TNA.
Yeah. Was Test in TNA? Like Test, so Test was in TNA.
So I don't know if you remember, but TNA did a show one time. It might have been like Slammiversary or Bound for Glory or something like that. And they panned to a picture in the crowd, and it was actually no, it wasn't Test. It was someone else. Fuck, that's what I was thinking. It wasn't. It was Rory McAllister from the Highlanders.
Okay, to save
they
you.
ended up getting sacked afterwards.
To save you, there was an NXT Takeover event 3 years ago, where it was Adam Cole, baby, who was in the ring, and in the crowd looking on is before she was a professional wrestler, is a Dr. Britt Baker, who, sorry, not before she was a professional wrestler, but it was just like people knew who she was, but like didn't really know who she was.
Yeah, apparently she was actually quite close to getting signed for NXT.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. Didn't happen. And now she carries a women division on her back, so.
Literally carries.
Yeah. She's not going to win the title, but.
No, I don't think she will. Anyway. It's the Big Show!
The pop for Big Show.
Yeah, he was out for like a year.
Yeah.
So what happened was, I think it was a year prior. So what happened was a year prior, he got into some altercation with a fan or something like that, or he was like slacking in wrestling or something like that.
Yeah.
So they dropped him down to development, and I think this was his first show back.
God, that choke
He's
slam that
on
he
fire.
does.
He can move like.
Yeah. That choke slam he does is so like lethal looking. Like when he goes down to his knees. Like, why did he stop doing that?
I don't know, because if you take so Kane always kind of lifted him straight back down.
Yeah.
Big Show always did knees, and Taker always held him up top and then dropped him.
Yeah.
So it was nice to have the little variety of choke slams between the three, but that's the way he changed it. He probably couldn't go down to his knees anymore, to be honest.
Like even the technique, like he has an arm like outstretched and everything. Like it's
kind of like a really high rock bottom.
Yeah, basically.
You know, that kind of way?
Yeah, no, you're right. Speaking of,
yeah, there's the low blow.
Look at the crowd. Look at the guy in white. It's like, oh no, how are they doing this?
Literally jumps back into it.
So The Rock just gets rid of Big Show in seconds. So what's the point in having all these people in the ring if you're not going to allow Big Show to go on a rager?
I've seen this match about 100 times, but I still can't remember. But I presume someone big is just going to come in a few minutes and just absolutely wreak havoc. Like,
maybe Undertaker,
whether it's Austin or Taker or Kurt Angle or Triple H.
Like, yeah.
Kurt Angle and Triple H aren't actually in it, but
Triple H is injured at this point, right?
no, Kurt Angle and Triple H had a title match before this.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what the story is. I can't see anything.
The Rock's face. What a sell job.
I know, it's pretty interesting.
Look at him. He just pulled the
He
chair
just
on top
throws the
of
chair.
He's like, oh, I need this to look way better. Throws the chair on top of himself. Look.
Jerry just goes over and picks it up. He's like, you alright, Matt?
Oh my god.
I find it cool about Picture's t-shirt as well, because it looks like he's bald in the picture, in the t-shirt.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the time where he was bald yet.
Future proofing, man. He knew it was coming.
Yeah,
Look at that hairline.
probably. It's just Albert's head on top of Big Show's face.
So we've in the ring now. We've Crash Holly, Hardcore Holly, Albert. What's his face? Help.
Val Venus?
In white. Val Venus. Bradshaw and Kane.
I didn't even see Crash Holly come in.
He came in. He did a little twist, and that was kind of it, really.
It's hurt already.
We haven't seen him in months. And was dominant until he ran into the Rock King.
Yeah, that
This
means
is
someone
Taker,
big
right?
either coming in. Has to be. Rowan as well, I think it was.
Well, if he can't get back in, he's eliminated.
Oh, what a pop, man.
It's my favourite Taker.
Undertaker.com. Undertaker.com.
Yeah, I remember when they used to do that.
The .com.
Oh, yeah. Big take. This is about half the people who are going on now, yeah.
Rocky can't get back in the ring. He's going to be out of the Royal Rumble, and he can forget about being in the main event of WrestleMania.
It's funny too, because Taker and Bradshaw are actually really, really good friends.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Taker was...
I mean, these boys have been around for a long time.
Yeah, yeah. You think a lot of these boys stuff too for WWE as well, never jump ship, never went to WCW.
Yeah.
They're there.
There they are, The Undertaker and Kane. Brother versus brother.
About time. Two big dudes. Two of my favorites, actually. Taker's probably my favorite ever. Taker
Look how
is my
young
favorite.
Taker
Not
looks.
probably. I know, yeah, it's crazy. But
Look
you
at him.
consider that's fucking... What is it now, basically? What?
21 years ago.
It's 50, yeah, I suppose, yeah.
The
hell.
Sarah tattoo in his neck, man.
Yeah, that doesn't last long.
My yard, my foot, your ass is the sign in the background currently.
That's actually fairly standard for Taker. That's pretty good.
The way they book this, where like it's the scary guys and it's just little guys like this coming out.
I love the way he's walking in as well, just looking at him like...
What an entertainer Scotty 2 Hotty was.
Really. I actually saw him a couple of months ago in OTT in Dublin, but he was still fucking brilliant. Like,
He was back recently, wasn't he? Or he is wrestling.
He was in Phoenix, I think, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
But he basically just spent 20 minutes walking around the crowd, hyping the crowd. His match itself was only about 5 minutes.
Now he's not really renowned for his in-ring work.
No, fuck no.
Unfortunately.
Jesus, no. Nice hair though.
Nice hair though. Looks very fake.
Yeah, in fairness.
We're gonna kill him.
There we go.
Double choke slam. Oh, he's dead. You know the one thing that like, if I was a wrestler that I'd absolutely hate is the head smacking off the canvas. I don't know how you can get used to that whiplash of your head smacking off a mat.
Yeah, I think if you were going training or anything like that, I think that's the toughest thing to kind of do is like tuck the chin.
Yeah.
It'd take. I reckon it'd take me ages to try and tuck the chin anyway.
Tucking the chin, or even for the Styles Clash, the opposite of tucking the chin. I feel like you would get used to that after time, but the thing for me that's the killer is like that choke slam there. You can see that he's tucking his chin and like his head just snaps back from the impact. Like your head hits off the mat really hard. Like,
yeah, that's it.
Not easy. Oh, here we go. Wow,
oh, big man.
man.
Everyone's on their feet in like 3 seconds, not even a second.
Is there anything more iconic in wrestling besides maybe the gong than the glass shatter?
I would still say the glass shatter.
I'd still say the glass shatter because it's a guaranteed pop. So they both had a match earlier. Is that what you said?
No. So Triple H had a match with
Kurt Angle.
But they were leading to a Triple H against Walter.
Okay.
Which is actually funny if you consider the WrestleMania that took place 2 months later.
Is Triple H busted open already?
Yeah, I think he got busted during the Kurt Angle match.
He just got busted open again. Tell me that this doesn't encapsulate the Attitude Era, everything that's happening.
Oh,
it's just hilarious, good
chaos,
wrestling, monsters, loads of storylines, loads of plots. There's loads of payoffs. You're not really waiting for much.
Yeah.
So when Austin was on the ground a minute ago, he clearly bladed, right? When his head was lying on his wrist.
Yeah.
But holy shit, he did a bad job.
It was actually funny with Austin though, because even when he didn't blade and he went down like that, he'd always put his head in his wrist.
Yeah. No, the man was so good at selling and so good at protecting himself, and so good. Billy Gunn! And was so good at I just blew my mic up there. But he was so good at like covering for himself and like his mannerisms and stuff.
Yeah.
God, Billy Gunn when he's not blonde looks useless, right?
He doesn't look as big as he actually is.
Do you think that this is like the ending of the Attitude Era at this point?
No. So, in my opinion, the ending of the Attitude Era is SummerSlam 2002.
Okay, so you think next year is when?
Yeah, because if you take 2 matches in that pay-per-view, is one of them is Kurt Angle and Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
So Rey Mysterio came in and he beat Kurt Angle. And then the main event of that was Brock and Rock for the title.
Yeah.
So that pretty much took over with the Brock Lesnar reign, which I think brought in the ruthless aggression. Because if you think in around that time, Rey Mysterio came in, Randy Orton came in, Batista came in, John Cena came in, things there, they're getting shaken up. So I would say summer 2002 was when Ruthless came in.
And after WrestleMania this year in 2001, so the next year is when The Rock was gone, right? Was that 2002?
No, so 2003.
2003. So who left in 2002?
So no one actually left in 2002. It was kind of WrestleMania 2003, WrestleMania 19.
Okay.
So WrestleMania 18 was Rock and Hogan. It was Austin and Scott Hall.
Oh, yes.
So that kind of way.
Yes.
Whereas if you take WrestleMania 19, it was Rock and Austin.
Gotcha.
So that kind of way. So I suppose you could say WrestleMania 19.
So I based on my knowledge, right? It's Haku. Based on my knowledge, which I will absolutely openly admit, I know a lot about wrestling. This is a complete gap in my knowledge, this era. And the crazy thing about it is I would have watched this at the time because I was really into wrestling when I was younger. And like my dad was watching this with me. But I have not rewatched this era at all since I originally watched it. I would have been 4 years old. So like I don't remember a lot of what's going on. I just kind of know it from reading about it or watching videos or whatever. So like I would have considered this after this WrestleMania the new era. But I'm off by a year.
Yeah, just about. Yeah, it's kind of like if you talk to me about wrestling years, unless it's like a Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, I can't tell you anything about what happened in a specific year.
Yeah.
But if you tell me this is what happened that year, I'd be like, oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you what year. So I think it's so tricky. I can only ever go on Royal Rumbles and WrestleManias, and even at that, WrestleMania.
I need to find I would love to do this with you every so often and just kind of watch some random matches and just talk shit and stuff. And I need to find more because like at the like matches around this time, even like going back to like 97, 98, 99, where there are huge matches like, for example, Montreal Screwjob. I know what happened with the Montreal Screwjob. Every wrestling fan does. I've never seen the match. You know what I mean?
I'm the exact same.
Yeah, I've never seen the match.
In history and look at a lot of matches, I know exactly what happens. I know the rundown of basically the whole match, but I've never seen it.
Never seen it. Oh my god.
And there's other matches that as well.
So Rikishi's come out and Jerry Lawler goes, here we go, it's my odds-on favorite. Like, fuck off, Jerry Lawler. No, it's not.
yeah. He's number 30 as well, actually. I think it is.
He is.
Back in t-shirt.
Look at Austin, man. What a bad blade job he did. Holy shit. Look at him.
That was every night, though. That was originally every night for Austin.
Not that bad. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, that's Jon Moxley levels of blading.
That's true, actually. There's a lot of me that believes, and this is kind of a bold statement, there's a lot of me that believes, no matter how big, he's a massive star, one of the biggest stars to ever exist in wrestling. But I feel like Austin's wrestling skills are actually underrated.
Oh, completely. Completely. Like,
he's an amazing wrestler.
You have to keep in mind that, like, Steve Austin was putting on, like, clinic matches of, like, 30-minute matches back when technical wrestling would have been at its peak. Like, this man was genuinely a fantastic wrestler, a fantastic personality and character, fantastic on the mic, 6'1", 6'2". The man has it all, like he really does, like, really does. And he would have kept going, like, to the stratosphere, even going into the mid-2000s wrestling, if it wasn't for his neck break against Onar.
It wasn't for the neck.
Do you know what I mean? So I agree with
you.
We've
talked about this before as well. Like, you have your kind of three people over the last kind of number of years. You'd have Hogan, Austin, Rock, and like Hogan could talk, Cena could talk. Sorry, did I say Rock? I meant to say Cena. Cena could talk. But Stone Cold just had everything. He
Everything.
could wrestle, he could talk, he could do anything he wanted.
Like, John Cena carried WWE for a long time for him. Even when, like, you had Randy Orton and you had Edge and Batista and you had Undertaker and you had Kane and you had Shawn Michaels and you had all these personalities, John Cena still carried the company. Like, he was still able to. But John Cena is not considered a good wrestler. John Cena, in my mind, he knew how to tell a story in a match. And he knew how to guide a match in a certain direction to tell a story. That doesn't necessarily mean he's a good wrestler. He doesn't have that many moves. I'm not giving him shit for that because he knew how to tell a story. Hulk Hogan had like literally no moves, but as one of the most charismatic people ever to enter a wrestling ring, is amazing on the microphone and carried himself fairly well. John Cena also did that, but did that 10 times better. Austin also did that and was a fantastic wrestler. And I don't think you can say, like, I think if you're looking at the two best wrestlers of all time, full stop, it's Rock and Austin.
100%. One of the best rivalries I think ever exist in wrestling.
Yeah, it's just, there's so few people who have it all. Like, they have, like, that size of, like, larger than life, put on fantastic matches, are good in the mic and a good character. There's so little of them.
Yeah.
Austin's won.
Did Taker get eliminated?
Yeah, he just got eliminated a second ago.
Yeah, I kind of find it funny how Billy Gunn is in the final four of the Royal Rumble.
I know, yeah. But they just want that upset for a second.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Going to the last three. Big DDT.
Is this before? Do you know the way Austin was gone for like 10 months or whatever?
So this is before.
This is
Or
before
this
that.
is after, sorry. This is after.
This is after that. Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of around the 2000s that he was gone. So
Okay.
basically, I actually watched the A&E documentary. They did the rivalry thing on Austin and Rock,
Yeah.
and it's fucking fantastic. I'd well recommend it. It's about, I don't know how long is it is, about 40, 50 minutes. and
Well, I'll
it's
watch it.
Brilliant. Takes you back to that time, but I forget what my point was. I completely forgot what I was going to say.
That's okay. When Austin's looking at you with those steely eyes through a crimson mask, I can understand that you're losing your train of thought.
Sure. Anyway.
Do we see one of the best stunner cells in this match?
I don't know.
Is it
if
this match
but
where The Rock does like a crazy oversell? He always did, but
he did loads of it. Brilliant.
but is it this one specifically that he jumps onto the ropes and shit? He's so good.
It is. That's brilliant. He was the best seller of the summer ever, like.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Although I will admit, is it WrestleMania?
Was it? Are you gonna say Theory?
Yeah, Theory sold it well.
I thought that was one of the best stunner cells I've seen.
Brilliant.
It's just
Brilliant.
it's
Second best.
Oh my god! It's just the
Second best
beers
was
spitting
Vince McMahon.
everywhere. It's just the
Brilliant.
jump. Oh god! Also, Pat McAfee's stunner was also great.
Pat McAfee was pretty fucking
Yeah,
sweet as well.
he gets the stunner and he just falls backwards, spitting beer everywhere.
Just goes to him on the floor,
Yeah.
then
He's just pouring beer into his mouth. I'd love to watch that Austin match with him when he came back, because the man took bumps that he didn't need to take. He took a suplex on concrete.
He took some fucking big bumps.
Yeah,
to be honest.
took some bumps.
Bumps that like people like that don't take when they're coming back. Like, I was fully expecting that to be a few fisticuffs and then a stunner, and that's it, go home. Like, but it really wasn't.
There a second ago, The Rock was talking to Austin, and said something along the lines of "shake your head" something, and Austin shakes his head. So I presume it's "shake your head if you're all right" or something like that.
Yeah.
That's losing a lot of blood. Teddy Long playing no. Kane got thrown through the middle rope.
Over the top rope with both feet touching the floor. Are you eliminated? Do you remember when they used to do the women's matches as well? It was like you can go through any fucking rope.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I've always been kind of against changing the rules of a match for the women, because I feel like it's just the rules can apply to all genders. Like,
100%. I don't see why you change it just for a certain person or just for a certain.
There's no reason to change it. You can just keep it so it's over the top rope. They're more than capable.
That's it.
More than capable.
No, he's not.
Kane not winning a Rumble, by the way, is criminal. Can we just say that?
I would agree.
How has that man not won a Royal Rumble? Look at him, like he's after lasting to the very end. He's after he eliminated, was it 12 people in this Rumble? 11 or 12 people?
11
people in this Rumble. He eliminated a third of the people in it. Over a third.
Monster, like I don't know.
You can see that chokeslam was weak. He must be shattered.
I would say so. Like, even if you consider Final Four in a Royal Rumble, Randy Orton is most for like 11 or something like that. Kane a second, but
can't believe Kane never won. Kane's also never main evented a WrestleMania, which is also insane.
Yeah.
Unless you count the match with Taker. Not really.
It was a main event though. It wasn't last match. But last match was main event. But
I agree. I actually listened to a podcast recently. I think it was with Chris Jericho. And Chris Jericho was essentially saying something along the lines of a main event is no longer like, he was talking about the WrestleMania match with Kevin Owens. I think it was on True Geordie's podcast. And he was saying that when it comes to like the main event now, he's like, the main event is always the main event, like it's the last thing. And nowadays, with the way that like wrestling is like structured and everything, like they'll put a main event mid card, and it doesn't have the significance it once did. And I completely agree with him.
100%, he's right. Like, I think WWE tried to do that. They tried to do one at the start, one in the middle, and one at the end.
Yeah.
The one at the start can generally get you going, but the one in the middle, I think, it gets a bit lost.
AEW are really good at like giving you a main event first, and then doing what a stunner. Doing a main event first and doing the main event last, because it actually feels like special to kick off a show with like a huge match.
100%, yeah. Even last night with the
they did that.
Open.
The start of the second hour, they did the biggest match in AEW history, which was that unification match between Jon Moxley and CM Punk. Now, the end of the match with a squash, which we will talk about on Saturday. What a chair shot. Jesus Christ, look at this. Like, he's swinging. He is swinging.
I love the way his hair just flicks up and just fucking...
Stone Cold wins. Man, he hit 3 chair shots, and 2 of those chair shots he swung for his head.
Battered him, like.
Battered him. And Stone Cold Steve Austin wins.
Oh, hell yeah. It's a good Rumble, in fairness. It's a very good Rumble.
It's a very good Rumble. I just wanted to do a watch along for that, because I think it is one of the best Royal Rumbles ever, and from start to finish is entertaining, and there's always something happening, and I think that it perfectly encapsulates the Royal Rumble and what the Royal Rumble stands for. I think it's just very, very good, and I don't think there's been a Royal Rumble that's even been remotely on the same level as this ever. Especially in recent years.
No. Yeah, I would say 2002 came very, very close to it, but other than those two, nothing like.
This one for me has like some of my favorite spots ever, and I just think it's a fantastic man. Anyways, that is us done for today. Thank you, Carmo, for joining me for the last 2 hours or so. I appreciate it very, very much. And
an absolute pleasure.
Carmo is one of the 5 Marks on the 5 Marks Pro Wrestling podcast. It's another Irish podcast. It's a lot more fun than my podcast. What I mean when I say that is his podcast, they actually have like games and quizzes, and they just talk about wrestling and just talk shit and have the crack and have some fun, as opposed to mine, where I will just recap news and then do one of these episodes every week, which is just a different vibe. Mine would be more informative, I guess, as
It would,
opposed
no,
to
in fairness,
fun.
yeah, no, you're right.
As
If you're
opposed to
looking for
fun.
kind of two good podcasts, especially one to have a bit of crack and one to get your actual news, check out Fight Forever and the Five Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast.
There we go. And thank you very much, Carmo. Do check out the Five Marks podcast. They're on all streaming platforms. They upload every Friday. They're very good. So give them a shot. And I will talk to you guys on Saturday.